Welcome to the CR Family Portal. This short video will show you where to find information on your student, communications from your school, and how to communicate with your students' teachers. The CR Family Portal supports multiple languages. Choose the language you are most comfortable with. And that is done right here. Click on that and you'll be able to choose languages. If the language that you are most comfortable with is not listed, contact your school and they may be able to accommodate. If you have been using the parent portal, which the login looks like this, so if this looks familiar to you, then you will be able to use the same username and password that you have been using. If you don't have a user ID and password yet, contact the school for more information needed to create a parent account. So let's log in as my demonstration parent. As you can see, I am logged in as Rhonda Abatici, and she has 4 students in 2 separate schools. So let's take a look at this home page. Here we can see announcements from either the school district or the school, and there are currently no district announcements, but we can see that there are 2 school announcements, and that can be either from the high school or from East Elementary, which is my elementary school here. So if I click on that school announcements, we can see the 2 different announcements. Click on that school announcements and it will be hidden from you. So we're going to be focusing on just one student, but we will occasionally be showing how you can change from student to student. So if I wanted to see Jacqueline's information, I would click on Jacqueline, and now when I either use my menu or by clicking on any of the links here, we're going to be accessing Jacqueline's information. We're going to stay with Amy though. Here we can see all of the quick links areas to get to see Amy's schedule, her assignments, grades, attendance, and behavior. If we click at the at a glance, it gives us a quick overview of all of those 5 different areas, which is really nice. The other way to accessing Amy's schedule information is to click on that hamburger menu, which is the little icon with the 3 lines. That is referred to in the industry as the hamburger menu. So if you click on that, you can see that we have a quick link to attendance, behavior, grades, assignment scheduling, students. When you create a parent account, it is based on just one student. To be able to get a view similar to what we're seeing here is you would have to add in the other students. So if I click on students, I'm going to see all of the information for my 4 students, but if I had another student that I wanted to add or needed to add, I would click on the add a new student record, and you can see a new line has been created in my grid, and I would enter in that student's ID number. Once you have saved that by clicking on the checkbox there, then you would see that student's name and other information. If the student happens to have an email on file, then for example, so we're going to cancel out of here. But if I click on the icon, that first icon, it's a circle with a small little pencil on the inside, that allows me to edit certain information for my student. I can enter in a login ID, I can enter in the student's email, and then also create a password and confirm that password, and that will create a user account for my student to access the student portal, which is similar to this right here, except it would have student portal login. We're just going to cancel out of this edit by clicking on the X. If you do edit and you do make some changes here, you would click on the blue check mark saying that you want to save. Otherwise you would do the X and circle icon. So let's go back to our home page, and we're going to click on the at a glance area. So as I said, this gives us a quick high-level overview of all the different areas in Amy's record. So we can see her progress, which is her grade information. Now these are the current term grades for Amy. We can see her recent scores, which are the assignments. We can see her daily attendance, and the daily attendance is based on the school year to date. We have Amy's schedule. Now in this demo database that I am using, we are actually officially during summer vacation. So right now we have no classes scheduled. But if you were to access this area on a weekend, this is what you would see because there are no classes scheduled for the most part for most schools over the weekend days. So if you land here on a weekend, this is what you would see. And you'll see that when I click on this area up here, we are going to see a schedule for Amy. And then we can see their behavior or their discipline records. So this displays right here, we can see any violations to school policy that she has committed and the dates that she has committed them. And this information is year to date. So the first area we're going to go to is looking at the daily attendance. So you can see this is divided up into 3 different areas for the attendance information. And the first is the summary of daily attendance. This information here is a year to date and we can go month by month. So it starts with August, which is the first month in my calendar. And then I can tab through using the pages here to get to all of the other subsequent months. The summary of course attendance can be sorted by any column. So if I wanted to sort by my courses alphabetically, I would click once and that would be ascending. If I click again, it will be descending. If I want to find the class that has the most absences, I would click once and then twice again. Amy has been absent from that class twice. You can also create a filter. If there is a lot of classes, you can set a filter that would narrow the number of courses. And again, because of the number of classes that my student has, I can page through and get to see all of my classes. The last area is a calendar view. Now any date that you see has an orange reddish highlight to it. If I click on that, I can see what happened on that day. And you can see on May 8th, Amy was tardy to every single one of her classes. This is just a demo database, so that one is not very likely. To scroll through the months, all you have to do is click on that button on either end, and that will scroll you through the months. So let me get to a month that, there we go. So here we can see that Amy was absent from all of her classes. And that is the equivalent of having a daily attendance code of absent. And just to remind you, we can click between our students and get their information for attendance. The next area we're going to look at is the grades area. So we're going to use our hamburger menu and we're going to go to grades. If we were in the at a glance area, it would be Amy's progress. And you can see that's the same information. So here we're seeing again Amy's information and we can see all of her classes. We can see all of the teachers that she has for those different classes. And we can see their quarter 1 grade, their quarter 2 grade. To communicate with a teacher, all you have to do is click on the envelope and that will open up an email. We already fill in the subject, but that can be modified if you want to or add to it. By keeping this information in the subject, the teacher will know exactly which student you are talking about. If you want to add an attachment, all you have to do is click on the browse and then click on send. So we have a show all details and a hide all details. If I click on show all details, it's going to expand each class to show further information, and this information is generally pulled in on the report card. Let's hide all those details, and we're going to go right to geometry. And here for quarter 2, we can see that her teacher put in a comment that said that she is meeting the minimum requirements. Her second comment has does not make up work. So if there is a note, you're going to see that beginning part of it, and if you just hover over it, you will see the full note. By clicking on that triangle again, it will hide the details for that specific class. The next area we're going to go to is the assignments view. So here are all of Amy's classes, and it's only going to display the information for the course that is selected. So if I go back to geometry, we can see that Amy has 3 assignments. We can see the date that the assignment was given. We can see the due date. You can filter on any assignment. By clicking on that, you can set up a filter. You can filter on due date. The next area we're going to look at is students' behavior. So we're going to use our hamburger menu again and click on behavior. And again, we're looking at Amy's records here. So this is divided up into 3 areas similar to the attendance view that we saw. Our first view is also a summary, and it is a summary of the actions. And you can see here we have action description. So for behavior, we have 2 parts in our system. The first is the infraction, what the student did against school policy. So what they did that was wrong. And the action is the action that the school took after the misbehavior. Just like our other grids here, we can scroll through and see the entire list, and it does give you what the total count is. And here is a history of the infractions, the things that Amy did that was not appropriate. And it does start with the newest information first, and if I click through, I can see all of her infractions, and that there is 10 in total. And for each infraction we have the date. Just like in the attendance view, we have a calendar view. We can scroll through the calendar, and anywhere we see a green highlighted date, we know that an infraction happened. So if I click on that, it's going to show me that this is when Stephen Hobble caught Amy chewing gum in class. The next area we're going to look at, we're actually going to go from the at a glance area. Remember when I talked about no classes scheduled for today, that you would see this on a weekend? Well, let's look at a little bit more information. So I'm going to click on Amy's schedule, and this is going to get me to her full schedule view. Now I could have gone through the hamburger menu and clicked on schedule, and that would have gotten me to this same location. Clicking on the hamburger menu again will hide it. So we can see Amy's schedule here. We can see the days of her schedule. So this is a typical 5-day schedule, as well as the number of periods per day that the school happens to have. By clicking on a particular course and day, again, allow us to be able to email to the teacher. Now, if you click on that and nothing happens, that is because the teacher does not have an email in the student information system. Again, you can put an attachment from your own computer on there, and you would enter in your message and then click on send. The last area that we haven't addressed yet is the account area. In this area, you can view your name and mailing address. You can change your password and manage your phone numbers. And then if I scroll down a little bit more, I can see my phone numbers. You can edit an existing phone number by clicking on that small little pencil icon. And here we have the phone number, so I could modify that If I needed to, I can add an extension, especially if it's my work phone number, and then I can indicate what the phone type is. And then the last option is receive SMS. That signifies whether this is a cell phone and you can receive text messages. Once you have made changes, you're going to click on Update. If you made changes and you don't want to save, then you would just hit Close. If you have a phone number that is no longer valid and there's nothing to replace it, you can click on the X and that will delete this message, and you'll get an alert message asking you if you're sure that you want to delete this. I'm going to click on OK. And now I have only 2 phone numbers. The maximum number of phone numbers that this system will allow you to add is just 3. At the very bottom we have Manage Email. So if your email address changes, you can enter in the new email address and then click on Save. I hope you found this video informative. There is also a document that you can print off with similar information.